guys, I hope you guys can hear me. I'm not sure what's going on with this. Let me refresh real quick. Okay, let me see. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Guys, thank you for tuning in to Movie Talk at Pressplay Cinema. Technical issues. Now, today we have an amazing friend. Her name is Adela. She is a fashion designer. She's been working on this project called Project Human. I don't want to tell you guys too much about it because I want her to be that spokesperson. She knows better than I do, and I don't want to make a mistake. Now, I do know, I'm not sure if she's busy today. If she's not busy, maybe I'll ask her. Let's present her and ask her, okay? So without further ado, Adela Hitel. How you doing,
Hi. Hi, it's been ages.
So I know, I'm not sure if you're busy right now, but I wanted to show Checkmate before we started this interview.
Please, no, that would be amazing. I love it. Oh my gosh, that's all. Yes, please, go. I'm with you.
Okay, guys, bear with me and action.
If you leave me to my own device, I compromise. The city is like a jungle, gotta make it mine. Put my fears, beat the hustle, better get it right. In a game where the strong survive. Only the strong. Your chains will not hold me down. The break and fall to the ground. Can't tame these lions. The power is raining like thunder, ready for a fight. These lions inside. Lions inside. These lions inside. These lions inside. I had to learn to be the hero. I started on a heaven zero. In a city like a jungle, I had to get mine. Never give, you gotta take. Be the catapult to storm the gates. Cause the champion is never giving in. See it through till the end of days. Till the end of days. You say
Well, guys, seems like something happened here. Let's do that again. Let's do that again. There you go.
catapult to storm the gates. Cause the champion is never giving in. See it through till the end of days. till the end of days. Your chains will not hold me down, break and fall to the ground. Can't tame these lions inside. Power is raining like thunder, ready for a fight. These lions inside. These lions inside. Can't tame these lions inside. Can't tame these lions inside. Ground that they're walking ain't cutting through their skin. They're hunting down their prey to the bitter end. The ground that they're walking ain't cutting through their skin. They're hunting down their prey to the bitter end. The ground that they're walking cutting through their skin. They're hunting down their prey. Let the games begin. Your chains will not hold me down, break and fall to the ground. Can't tame these lions inside. The power's raining like thunder, ready for a fight. These lions inside. These lions inside. Can't tame these lions inside. Can't tame these lions inside. This ground that they're walking ain't cutting through their skin. They're hunting down their prey through the bitter end. This ground they're walking ain't cutting through their skin. They're hunting down their prey. Let the games begin.
Okay, guys, I'm having a little bit of trouble with, oh, there you go. Here we are. I'm not sure what's going on with my,
Listen, I'm telling you this right now. I am ready. Like, I am ready. It's just so much energy, and that the circuits are
Listen,
short-circuiting. It
I
really
woke
is.
up,
The circuits are short-circuiting.
I woke up, I made myself a smoothie and I put extra sugar there. And I'm like, now, I don't want to bore people with our girl talk because if we start, we will not end. There's so much to talk about, so much. And talking about so much, there is a lot of people that don't know about Project Human. So before we start with the nitty gritty, I would like to ask you,
Yeah.
what is Project Human?
So Project Human is my nonprofit organization. It's Think, a new way to think. And the idea is that so here's our mission. Our mission and our goal is to bridge the gap between emotional and mental health within a human being and the structure of its existence, right? So the way we do that is through art, through communication, through information, through education. There's all of the free resources we have to do that. The core of this, the idea of Project Human is that the human has the power and the potential to create and recreate and repaint whatever it is they desire from within. All the resources, all the knowledge is already within. Now, how we proceed with that and how we execute that may be the part where we're lost on and we don't know how to figure out. So what we do is we come in and help with that, because we are in a position and place and space and time where we can build skyscrapers, we can go to the moon. I mean, Elon Musk is trying to get us, to Mars. So the fact that we can do that, but we don't know how to function as an independent human being here in this society right now, or in our own home. We really just don't know how to function in our own home. So Project Human came out of me not knowing how to function in my home, and then how to function outside, and how to talk or just exist. And now it's the idea that the power resides within you, your connection to the divine in some shape or form, whatever your beliefs and wherever your existential life lies. But for me, it's that connection to your soul, to your mind, to your body, and working in unison together consciously as a collective versus a subconscious, unknown daily action and then blaming it on I didn't know, I wasn't aware, and just the ignorance that we play off of, and like you know, and the fact that we're not honest with that. That's what we do. We face that, and we do it with art. It's one of the best ways I can say it. We do it with art, and it's the way it saved my life. It's what it's inspired other human beings, and art is the key to bridging every gap. Like it transcends every language. Any you want to talk about diversity, like it transcends everything. It can connect any way, whether that's music, whether that's film, whether that's fashion, whether that's crafting, I mean, welding, whatever a human can intake and go, wow, that inspires me. Wow, that moves me.
Artists, that's an artist thing. I can show you better than I can tell you. I can definitely show you better than I can tell you. And I was talking about this yesterday with Charlie. I told her it's baffled to me how people don't believe in magic or miracles. Someone one day said, I wish I can fly, and now we have airplanes. Like, hello.
To me, the idea, what really kind of triggered me in this way is, and again, I'm very much for the human, because it's the one tangible thing I know about, right? I can build, sure, I can learn, I can do all these things, but I know a human. I know me because I'm a human, and I'm a woman, and I know me, and so I can talk about that. I'm an expert in that. What I'm not an expert is in interacting with human beings and in society. Like, that's what I've had to learn, and how I've had to do that is because I didn't have the words, I didn't have the understanding. Well, I did have the words. What I didn't have is the understanding of what the word meant, and I just blurted words like everybody do, but we don't know what word means. And when we don't know what word means, we're willing to just blah, 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 blah. And I'm first person to say blah, 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 without the pause of understanding what the word means. And it's not just words. I'm talking about word. What every part of your breath comes out when you're doing the intention, the indication, every bit of that is your word. That is your action. That is your response, is your word. And so when you create something, it is your word. It is part of who you are, and it solidifies you as an individual here. And so it's just so fascinating to me when somebody was like, I can't make a decision on food, or we decide on the color of the shirt we're going to wear, or what kind of makeup. Like, it's so easy in food for us to do that, but we can't decide or change our mind about our perspective. Right?
And you know what's funny about that? You know what's funny about that? Real quick. People told me when I was working with you, people told me, oh, you got to be careful with Adela. Adela is very strict. And I was like, okay. And I started working with you, and I saw you vividly. And I was like, I don't think she's strict. She is extremely passionate, and that is respectable. Because for this project, for this movement, for what she's trying to do, that's what she needs to embody, and she's doing it perfectly fine. I wouldn't define it as strict. I would define it as completely passionate. And
now, well, I have a new phrase now, which I love because it's mine. The confidence in my knowledge overrides the feeling of incompetence. So regardless, right? Because even in that time when people will call me, and that's the difference, right? In which I understand the strictness, pardon my French, hard ass, all these words, adjectives to describe me in when we work in projects or we're building something or when I'm working on it. What I've learned is that no. You can assume all those words for you. That's right. That's perfectly fine. What I am is really confident in what I know. And I know that the potential of a human being is way surpassed beyond anything we've ever imagined or thought of yet. Like the potential of a human being, not potential of AI, not potential of a skyscraper, not potential of a movie, not potential of a song, but the potential of a human being. And I refuse to give up on that, right? Like I refuse to give up on that, even though it may have come off as hard ass or too many PDF files or too strict or too this or too that. But at the end of the day, I also know that structure is what we all crave.
Well, I'll be honest with you. That's not what I saw. I saw you exactly the way I was supposed to see you. And I guess it takes a good artist with a genuine heart to see that. Other people will see it, oh, she may be a hard ass, or this and that. But the way I experienced your craft, it felt like you was just really in love with what you was doing. And it's your baby. So of course, I have babies. I fight for them. Like, hello, like that was the attitude you was showing. I was like, yeah, that's completely
Well, you gotta
understandable.
fight for yourself, and again, and so let's talk about Checkmate, which is what we, really quick. If that's, I don't know what other questions you have, but like,
Oh, no,
it
we're
really,
still there.
yeah, I was like, yeah, because like when Checkmate came about, it was literally after my rebirth project, which was me talking about my suicide attempt. And at the time, I was not confident in my words and my work in any, like, I was not, may have a confident attitude, but I was not confident in what the words were, right? Because I didn't understand the meaning of them. I didn't grasp the full like idea of what I was doing. I didn't grasp it. I knew I had an idea, and I knew I had something that I just could not hold within me because it was literally drowning me with energy. And I was like, I know there has to be some people who have the fire and the flame in this. And it was exactly on Zoom, when we were doing our thing, and somebody was like, Checkmate Adela. And I was like, that's the new thing. That's it. That's the project. And I remember my team at the time when we did Rebirth sending me message while we're on this, like 400 people debuting, our Rebirth project, having this conversation, and they're like, Adela, no ideas. Adela, no ideas. No, Adela. Like literally sending me private messages. No, Adela. We saw your face. We know it. No. The answer is no. And I was like, but Checkmate, guys, check it out. And I was like, let's talk after. And while we were on there and they're talking and they're having that conversation, I wrote the synopsis of Checkmate. And it was like, because, okay, I don't know how to play chess. I wasn't like, I didn't watch the Queen's Gambit while everybody was on it. Like everybody was on it, and I didn't watch it. I'm not, like I said, but I understand the idea of it. So then I was like, oh, well, I don't know how to play chess. I don't know how to do this, but I like the idea of structure, the idea of movement, I like the idea of like playing roles and doing this. However, I'm not a pawn because I don't want to be a pawn. I also don't want to be a king or queen. Like, it's not like, what am I? What do I want to be? Well, I'm an anomaly. I want to create in my own flow in this structure that's already created. So Checkmate was about the social construct in a square form that comes in with each little block of squares, each little role played, right? Each little thing. And you know me, we had a grand vision, but COVID said, come on down. So we came down and we made it happen. We made it happen, right? We still made it happen, which is what people don't understand. No matter how grand your vision come in, the fact that you can even execute something, you should be so proud of. And that's not something I understood fully up until even this last year. The fact that you had a vision and were able to execute it, and execute it at the level that you did with no resources and at the top of fighting like a pandemic, we did that so hard. Like, we did it so hard. So that's so proud of that. So we come in and we do
go
this.
Hard or go home.
Right. And again, and then when I sent them the idea, they're like, Adela, we can't do it this way. We can't do this. And then again, all this stuff. And I'm like, no, but we can. No, but we can. Like, I know you said no, but is there a yes in there somewhere? Like, and that's my always thing is like, when I get the no, I'm like, I know it's a no, but
what if?
This is the only but I can give you. What if, right? What if that's not the problem? Like, what if COVID wasn't the problem? What do we have to do? Oh, okay. So what if it is? We need a COVID nurse on set. Guess what? Checkmate. We got it, right? Right. Boom. Exactly. So what? We need this on set. Checkmate. We got it. So what? They said, no, we got another one. Checkmate. We were making it happen. And we did. And we did that all over Zoom. Like, all of our rehearsals were over Zoom. All of our like castings were over Zoom. And I remember when I came up with the Queen, characters, and me and Shelby were talking about that, like, you were the first person in my head. I'm like, it's gotta be Rose. It's gotta be Rose. Because we had specific, I'm very specific. And if someone brings me somebody and I can see it, like, they're done. Yes, you'll have to go through the casting process. Yes, you'll have to do the whole thing because everybody has to do it. I have to make sure that I confirm not only my team's decision or idea or pick, but my own. Like, we have to be in agreement. And so when we went through that, I was like, we gotta do it. And the opening scene was Shelby's idea with the two playing chess. We didn't even have that. I didn't even have that. And we were planning on rehearsals for you guys. And we were in her room doing and sketching that out. And she's like, I had an idea. I was like, what is it? She's like, what if you were playing chess against yourself? I was like, holy shit, I love that. I was like, Will, how do we do this? And he's like, that's it. I got you. I said, thank you. So like, it wasn't even my idea. Like, that first point wasn't even my idea. That was all somebody else coming in and going, like, we're sitting there. I'm talking about how are we going to fight? How are we going to do this? And she's like, I had an idea. I'm like, what's that? And I'm like, perfect. Like, I didn't even think that far. I was still fighting. Perfect. That's done. Like, does it work? done. And it just so fluidly came together. And it just, the idea in this project was that nothing else matters. Like what society has put in, like our king dies for our pawn picks up the, like the idea that we change the rules of the game, you change the rules for yourself. And at the end, you're playing against yourself. You're not playing against anyone else. Yes, society tells you you're playing against it. Yes, everybody around you tells you you're playing against everybody else and competing and doing this. But ultimately, you're playing against yourself. And how you treat yourself and how you treat all that will literally transpire how you treat everybody around you. So if you treat yourself as an enemy, you will treat everybody as an enemy. And again, I'm speaking from experience. This is nothing from me coming in and going like, this is what Adela used to do. And then she just found out about her stank attitude. So I apologize on behalf of it. The other, like, I had to come to Jesus meeting with my team members last week. So like, no, but for real. But it's one of those, you don't know, like you think one way and you're so ingrained into this thinking, into this thought. And then somebody goes, really, Adela, are you sure that's what that is? Are you sure that's who you are? And you're like, yeah. They're like, not so much. And then you're like, really? So you let me out this whole time? Nobody checked me? Man. And so like, but having to check yourself, because it's not, but it's also not somebody else's responsibility to check you. Like you are responsible for yourself. You are accountable for yourself, and you have to know yourself enough to know that. And so that's what with Checkmate we learned. That's what I learned through Rebirth. That's what I learned working on sets and working with everybody else. And that's how we started the documentary of like defining the narrative. What does it mean to exist? What does it mean to use your words? What does it mean to create? What does it mean to be here in this plane and space? So yeah, sorry, I talked too much. So tell me to stop.
You're fine. Well, like you're unpacking everything about Project Human. That's what we want. Just to add here, guys. Adela had an amazing challenge to put this together during COVID. Not sure if you guys saw the interview I had with Ashley Below 2 days ago, but she was our nurse. I'm not sure if you guys knew that about her because we didn't talk too much on that matter, but she's not just a model and actress. She is a registered nurse and she does this for a living. So it was a beautiful project with a lot of local talent. And thank you so much, Adela, for that, for considering the local talent of Jacksonville. That was really amazing for you.
I mean, one thing on that is like, for me, Jacksonville is my, like, it's the painting I've never got to paint for a home. It's a piece of a community I've never had, right? And so for me, especially now that I'm like, we're close, sorry, I get emotional with this, with what are Jackson, I'm going to just make this announcement really quick now, like this is a drop. Do you know that the Jacksonville community for Define the Narrative documentary, for what we've done with the Rebirth Project, Checkmate Project, the interviews and all this in between from everybody from here to LA and everybody who's gone and come and gone, we as a community have come together to put in $173,000 in in-kind donations in all of, to create something that we're working on that's epic to define the humanity of us, like, and it's all Jacksonville. Yes, we had help a few here and there, but like that is Jacksonville heart and soul. So it just, there's no other like way we can do this. There's no other way that anything can happen if it isn't within our home, within where we're at. So like, but you guys coming in again, it just, you see how the branch is like for what we're doing. It just makes my heart so happy.
But hear this out. I was in the Jacksonville community. People don't just work with people just to work. They believed in you, Adela. And what you're doing was, and I believed in you as soon as I saw all the papers and I read through them. I was like, this is a beautiful vision. And whoever doesn't want to work in this, it's missing on a great opportunity to not just make connections with humans, but work on your own self. That's amazing what you was doing there. So that being said, I want to let you guys know Adela Hitel is the author of the famous quote that I use most of the time. I am not nice, I'm kind.
Yes. No, but for real though. And that's just where people will assume that, again, the words that we talked about earlier, to use that is because those are nice words or mean words. I don't care about that. To me, the work speaks for itself. And if you can provide and you can do work, come show up. I don't care about anything else. You're a human being. You can show up and do. You say you can do it. Isn't that like the biggest motto I have? Is like, if you say you can do it, do it. I don't care about nothing else.
Our word is the last thing we have.
Our word is the last thing we have. So if you give your word to somebody that like, hey, I can be there, I can do this, do that. Now, if something happens and you can't, the communication part is the other part of what's so important, but that also is the word. And so communicate what is necessary to what needs to be. And I think that's what we learned through, that's what I learned through being on other people's sets, right? I learned that on other humans' sets and other people's places, communication was lacking. This is no job on anything, but communication was lacking. And not communication between anything, but communication from leadership. And at the end of the day, if we don't give a clear vision of what is, now I'm not saying my visions were perfect or they didn't need work or they didn't need whatever, but at the end of the day, I knew the picture. How I got there was up to you guys to help me fill in, you know, and make it happen, and your perspectives. And that could change too. Like that picture could be like this, and then go, Adela, that's crooked. Can we shift it to straight? And I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't see it. Yeah, you know, I didn't see it crooked. I was all in it. So like somebody from Adela, you are like upside down. Can we come on back this way? But like, oh, I didn't even notice. That's no wonder I'm feeling a little dizzy. Like, but we don't know that unless we have unless we have humans, unless we have people that are willing to be open and feel like they can share their perspective. Like that was another thing that I didn't get to experience in a lot of places, was if there was something that I saw that could be fixed, changed, solved like instantly without a headache later, it was always, well, you're not the director, you're not this, you're a makeup artist, you're this, go back to that. Like the amount of ways that we've talked to on set, and I don't know if that's happened to anyone else or any of that, but like my experience, and I'm not saying, you know, and they're not so bad, like whatever, but those sly comments, those sly little moments that can defeat a human, especially just the microaggressions. And that's one of the things that we're like, no, like if you have something to say it. If it needs to be stopped. And I even stopped in Checkmate. I was like, no, stop. Like, remember that one time I was like, this is not what we do. This is how we do. It's a collective. Like, don't eat and drink in this or on this because we're going to get in trouble, or don't do this because we're going to do this. It's not like excuse me, you know better. Like, no, just don't do that.
Right.
Like, just don't do that. Just be honest and upfront. And how somebody takes it, that's up to them. But you being honest and who you are and what you're doing, why you're doing what you're doing, and then keeping your word to the people you've given your word, that's a huge thing. So just because 18 other people don't know what you've agreed to, you have a responsibility to your agreement, and you have to make sure that those agreements are met, whether that's to your people, to the spaces, to the, like, you made the agreement. Not everybody has to know the full detail of it, but you have to make sure that you lead with that integrity, and you lead with much information. And I get all the time, it's overwhelming, it's too much. I'm like, well, if you don't know, you don't know. Then you're gonna be mad you didn't know. If you know it's too much, then it's up, again, it's your fault. Like, no offense, it's your fault. Like, figure it out. That's on you. Like, do you want to know or do you not? Do you want to do it? Do you not? The in-between is a thing. And I think that's what art does. And that's what we do through movies, through music, through documentaries, through anything that we create. We have the ability to redefine and reshape perspectives and narratives and change and influence human beings in a way that sometimes we may not have thought that we could, or that we didn't know we needed. I didn't know I needed what we're doing and how we're doing it to the depth of, like, even just yesterday. So like, it solidifies every day. And if you're really into it, like, you know where you're going no matter what. And then it's just a matter of sticking to it and doing it. Even if it's alone and underground and no one knows, and you're away for 2 years.
Every step is an opportunity to learn. So that being said, let's go to our second question. You did brush it over the surface. Our second question is, how does Project Human adds value to its members? You did brush it over the surface. Can you go a little more in depth in that?
I can. So Project Human is the idea. So Project Human is this. It's a nucleus, it's an idea, and it doesn't function unless you function. So the idea is to teach you about your own existence, honestly. So your value, okay, so who you are. Because to me, every human being is this one space that has so much potential, so much value. And what we've done is, because there's 8 billion of us, we're just like this translucent piece of thing in there. But the individual, like on a collective level, we are just like that's why we have so much, because it's such a collective. When we go back into the individual, it's like, what value do you have? What value do you provide? To me, Project Human is all about, what can you get out of that? Like, again, it's not that we don't need, but what can you get out of Project Human? What are you searching for? Are you searching to be a better leader? Are you searching to be a better mother, father, a better human being in one way? Are you searching to be able to do your dishes? Because again, at the end of the day, what are you searching to, and how are you searching to function? So we ask these questions. We have as an organization, we have a reflection course that we've just added. We'll be launching in a couple months, and we have a couple members that are going through it and refining it. And what we're learning from it is it's massive what we're learning for, and how we use our words and how we transpire. So the idea is for you to figure out who you are, like to the core of your own self, and know your own structure, know who you are and how you want to build it, and define what's not tangible for you. So what are your requirements? We have needs, we have requirements, we have wants. I want to be the greatest thing ever. I want to be an Elon Musk, right? Okay, let's play a role like that. I want to be a version of Elon Musk, the greatest thing ever. We're going to the next thing, right? Boom. Right. But like, let's get to reality. Am I in a need of survival, or am I in need of living? Most of the people are in need of survival, because we're in a fight or flight mode, and that's where all of our like stress comes in, our anxieties, or when we're talking about depression, anxiety, or any of the stuff, we're in a survival need. You're fighting for your life. You're either fighting for your car payment, your house payment, your food payment, where you're going to go next, like your job. You're fighting for your life. And in America, we have plenty of that. And then on the other side, we have people who are living, who have a home, who have a job. You and I are living. You and I are in a living space. We have a family, we have a home, we have a structure, we have food. We are good. We are living. That's our need. So what do we need now? We need sleep. Okay, so let's make that. Some people need a meal, right? Like they need that to survive. And so understanding where you're at in that need. So we ask you where you're at, because once you know that, then you know what you need, what's required of you. Well, for us, we were required to get to our want level. We require sleep, good nutrition, better organization, whatever. Somebody else's requirements might need to be, my requirement is that I need to have more discipline because I need to get a better job. I need to have more commitment because I need to get a house. You know, for me, it's I need discipline and sleep, but they're both the same. Discipline, commitment, integrity, transparency, those are all requirements of somebody or in a human to be able to succeed, right? Commitment, especially commitment to yourself, self-awareness. Then you can achieve your want. And that's your big dreams, whatever you want. And to me, that's how I learned through movie creating and being on sets. It's that simple. Like you have a script, you have an idea, you have a script, and then we come to fruition and all these things happen. Well, why can't a human being do the same thing and write their own script and get their own parts and make their own movie happen, you know? So
you know what's funny about that? That's basically one of the tips I use to find myself, if that makes sense. What I did was I started to associate a character while I was acting, and I was like, well, that's curious because I do that easily, but how do I do it with myself? I struggle with being outside and holding my words because I am afraid of how people may perceive who I really am and how I really express myself. And I'm afraid of people calling me crazy for the passionate fire that I have inside of me. So I see myself restraining my being. And I said, well, F it. I'm just gonna do it. And if somebody asks, I'm just practicing for a role. Right. No, but for so true though. If you're not talking about your want is a role in your life that you are trying to get to. It's not a position or a space. Like it's a role you're trying to get. And it's a role that was written for you. Listen, God writes, no offense to anybody, what everybody believes. Okay, this is for y'all. This is my personal thing. God writes a plan and God writes a role for you. How you get to that end is up to you. How you make that movie, what you decide to change within that script is up to you. Free will, freedom of choice, decisions, accountability, responsibility equals consequence. That's the math equation we teach, right? And it's like, if that's the only math equation I know, it's the life equation that's caught me through life. It's accountability plus responsibility equals consequence. Good or bad, that's up to you. And the way you decide, you can make it easier, you can make it hard. I made it hard for the longest part of my life because I was so in my feelings and I had to feel people and oh my God, and this and that. Now I'm like, I don't care how you feel. Here's why. And this is something I learned in a meeting recently. I went in with so concerned about how they're going to perceive me because of my energy. Because the comment prior to that was, you just need a little more passion, Adela, and a little more. You know what that means. You know what that means. That's too much for you. You already know when they say you need a little more. You're like, I'm already on like, I'm past Mars. You're not in cloud 100. What are you talking about?
Right. But to me, I took it as a dig because it was too much already. What my existence was just right there. So I went into my internal head. I was like, well, I'm not too much. That's not too much passion. That's not, you know, you just kind of get into your thing. And I'm like, no, calm down. What you're making them do is feel joy. We have lived in fear. We have been so like desensitized to just pain and negativity and through films, through music, through just so much of pain. Like just pain. Now we're talking about, I know we have pain, but how can we transfer that pain into joy? How can we transfer into filling people with life and with abundance, right? How can we use what we're doing and creating and making them go into, oh my God, I matter. Like, it's not, my pain is just like, I matter. Everything about me too. It's so much bigger than that. So I learned being in that meeting too. And again, what he said to me was this, he's like, you're challenging the norms. I was like, norms of feeling fear all the time? He's like, yeah, because you're making people feel something other than that. And at the end of the day, isn't that what art is supposed to do? It's supposed to make you feel something so right. And what we've done is use art to share a pain. Yes, and that's beautiful. Great. Van Gogh shared his pain too. But when I've been to the museum, and you can see this is me and his reflections in there. And this was a stranger taking a picture of me and sent it to me. And I was like, girl, that's thank you. Like, and yeah, no, she's fantastic. I can't wait to introduce. Right. That was me being in my space. And as I'm here crying for his pain through his art, right? The joy I feel at the ability to like feel. That's it. The joy I feel for the ability to feel.
I take pride on telling people, hey, our slogan is dare to inspire, because really, I can't stress this enough. That's really what we're looking for. We're looking to dare to inspire. What is inspiration? Is a feeling, those goosebumps that art give you, because it's such a powerful message. It's such a powerful story. That's what I'm trying to aim at. Because oh my gosh, I've talked to many artists, and there's some artists that are so superficial, and they don't have, it's like their art doesn't have a soul. And it's so horrible to speak to people like that, because I'd be like, okay, this is a person I'm not working with. I'm okay with, hello, how you doing? I'm great, how are you? But that's pretty much it.
Because at the end of the day, it's a follow-up trend. It's follow-up trend. And at the end of the day, being a human and having the power to create is not a trend. It's actually what we are responsibly and like what we are born to do. We are born with the power to create, whether that is the creation of destruction or beauty, right? Or whatever it is you want to call it for yourself. But you have the power to create, whether you create your thoughts, whether you create, like you create. And the fact that we don't look at that as something that is our power, and that's why I can't work with a lot of people either. And I say people, I love human beings. I despise people. I'm going to be honest, because people are a persona, which is a character. And if you look at the root word of persona, it's derived from a character and the being of back in Greece and back in Latin days of just the theatrical performance of an existing being, right? So no, thank you. You see me, I'm theatrical. I am a person right now. I am performing and doing what I need to do but at the end of the day, the soul of what needs to be able to like transcend through energy through that's not something that you can necessarily touch. That's not something you can necessarily be able to put in. I can hold it. If you can hold it, you're holding it in here. You're not holding it in your hands. And most people don't know how to take art. It's a lifestyle to experience life through the way that it's meant to be, through creation. And again, in my documentary, when we launch and everything, like when I did my rebirth project, when I shaved my head, literally, I still cry at my own scene now, looking back at it, going, I can't exist if I don't create. Doesn't matter what it is. Like I can't breathe if I'm not creating, whether that's creating a beautiful
home, out on something, like
the fear of missing, like FOMO, the fear of missing out. That's what I'm fear of missing out. Like creating, I don't care what I'm creating. I could be creating a doodle. Like I'm gonna make sure that doodle is the best little doodle I ever created with the prettiest little thing. Okay, the doodle. If I'm not creating, like I'm not living, I'm not experiencing, and we've lost that, and I think art has lost that. It's lost that ability we can connect through a lot of hatred and a lot of negativity, but to connect through love and to connect to like true passion of again, just I understand how terrible the world is, believe me, like the first person to tell you. But at the same time, I can tell you from experience what humans can do and how fast they can change their actions to show you the best part of their creation. That doesn't excuse their behavior, doesn't excuse any of the actions prior to that. But the fact that they have the ability, like that right there in its own is like that's it. Why can't we have hope for that? And so why can't we use our arts and our skills and what we do to do that, to inspire to do that, instead of to live in where we're at? So
amen to that. Amen to that. So that being said, let's go to our question number 3 is, what is the ultimate goal for Project Human?
60-year, baby, 60-year plan, girl. We already down the road, okay? We will be the heart of our Jacksonville city with building and everything that we want to do. But right now, what the current goal is, we are going to be finishing the Define the Narrative documentary. We actually are filming a second portion in July. This it's just like, right, I have it. This is all announcements to you guys, to everything. We have a team set. We're ready to go. We have a locate. All things are ready to go. Check. And what we're doing is we're bringing back a few people to come back 2 years after we filmed our interviews in 2022. And that was right before I had my health scare and had to take some time off to like figure some stuff out. So now that we're on the other end of it, we're going to revisit a few questions, revisit a few things, and redefine everything we've done and kind of define the solid structure of who and what we are and what Project Human is. And I'm really excited for the interviewees who are coming back and for their stories, because I've seen the change in them and they've seen it, and for them to share, again, the same seats and just 2 years apart, and what they've been able to do, what we've all been able to do. It's so inspiring to me. And to end it on that note, I think is just fantastic, because again, when we started, it was so much pain, and now we've transitioned and transcended into joy and into hope. That why not end it on a high note with that? So we're doing that, and our goal is to have a screening July of next year, 2025, downtown at the heart of the library. We're in the walks and talks of that right now. 300 plus tickets. We're working on that. We're actually, all of that is right now in the works, and waiting for all confirmations of stuff. So once that's all settled, we'll make the official announcement, in that. But that is all that, and then 16 film festivals that we are entering in 2026 for the documentary. We've already narrowed them down. We've already got all the stuff and pinpoints of what we want to do and all that. So now we're fine tuning it for each festival to ensure that it hits the way it needs to hit. And so there's just a lot of, that's our biggest project right now, but it includes the Rebirth project, includes Checkmate, and includes, so you'll see Rose in it too. Rose is featured, you guys, all that, right? Like, so, and
Girl, I aged
stuff
after that. I'm going old.
No, girl, you and me both age backwards. What are you talking about? We dispelled our demons. We've youngened up. Are you kidding?
Right,
Nah,
right, true.
Nah,
Stay over there. Don't come over here. I got you in
no.
the age.
Right, no, we dispelled you see, like, our lines are down. Look at this. I mean, come on, let's go. No, right, come on. So no, it's all for it's all for that. But that's the whole point, right? That's the whole point of a human being and being an art piece, that you yourself are the canvas that you get to create, and you get to take the time, you get to figure out your colors, you get to see, if you don't like it, you can smash it all up and do it again. Like,
what's funny, Adela?
That's what it is. Like,
what's funny, Adela? You have inspired me in the last 2 weeks. I'll tell you why. I started to think about making content creation for Pressplay Cinema, right? You've seen the little videos around.
I did. I actually just started. I saw it yesterday. You and Claire and stuff. So yeah, Claire. Claire. Listen, Claire is one of our top features in the documentary because of her transformations.
Yep. So the thing is, I had the idea to recruit a team for them to do that, because it's not that I don't want to do it myself. I have a little bit of social anxiety. Even me doing this lives is a challenge to me. Like, it's letting people see me and who I am and how I express myself and how I talk to people. And sometimes my language barrier, it's a little too much for me. I'm putting too much of myself out there. I'm not sure how people are going to take it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to recruit a team to do this. And I'm just going to send them all of the stuff that they need to do. Very, very simplified. It's going to be a piece of cake. But nobody was following through. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, I know I have worked with someone that would have done this. anyways. And I started to think of all the people that I've talked to and all the advice I've gathered from artists. And then I thought you came to my mind, and I was like, well, if this was Adela, this wouldn't have stopped her. Like, she would have just found a loophole to do it anyways. And I was like, well, I guess if you want something done, I guess you gotta do it yourself.
If you want something done, but for real, it's so true though. If you want something done, you have to do it yourself. And this is nothing personal, no attack to anybody. I say this. I have the best. I just talked to Will, you guys, and you know Will is in LA doing his thing, kicking ass. Okay, I just got off the phone with him 30 minutes before we were talking. Okay, and like I have the best team. I have the best team. My team is spread across the country right now. Y'all are all over the place. You know why? Because y'all are doing your thing. That team is what it needs to be. If people are not doing their thing, like that's what we're about, right? If you're not if Project Human, everything we're doing, it doesn't work if the human doesn't work. So it does not work if you're not doing what you need to do. Like it doesn't get us anywhere. So the fact that you guys are kicking ass, listen, I need you especially, because you and I are both alphas. This is, y'all, we're going to have a moment one-to-one. That's not movie talk. This is therapy session, just 2 minutes, okay? You and I are alphas. You and I are both alphas. We're both into that. We both also believe in people's words when they say, hey, I will do this for you. And when you are clear in your stipulations of why you need them done, what the requirements are, and they still agree to that, right? Whether that's, hey, I can't pay you right now, or I can pay you later, or this is the pay, or whatever that structure of organization and belief is, and they still don't deliver, what I've learned is that it's not necessarily your fault, because again, ultimately as leaders, we have to take that, but we can't make anyone do anything, no matter how good friends they are, no matter what because their heart and their passion and their soul are in that. And I'll tell you this, from the get-go, the moment you said it yourself, the moment you see them, you know that it's not. So part of the lesson is for you to all start trusting the intuition of what's not. Exactly. And that may mean you have to work a little harder on you and do that with you and by yourself. And it may be you're underground a little bit more. It just might mean that, right? But when you come out though,
I was showing the content to my husband, and he's like just looking at it and looking at me, because I'm 30, I should be doing all these little things. And I'm like, and he looked at me and looked at the videos, and I'm like, listen, you're one of the, I know it's embarrassing. I see myself and I'm embarrassed too, but that's me acting. Now I'm gonna tell you something. You know for a fact that there is a quote that says, if you want something done, you do it yourself. And he's like, bet, touche.
Listen, but here's the deal, right? This is what I tell people. If you're going to criticize me, don't tell me, do it. Stop telling me, just do it for me. Because at the end of the day, I already know, boo-boo. I'm already 15 steps ahead of you. I've already done it. It's just nobody's doing it. So if you want to tell me about it, instead of telling me and wait, and this is where they'll look at Adela and be like, but instead of telling me, do it. You're wasting time. But here's my thing. Time is the most important and valuable currency we have. Right. Your existence of that time. So when you're wasting your breath to tell me, you are literally taking your 5 minutes of telling me something that's $5, an equation that you're just throwing down the trash of your life, of your essence, instead of putting it into something to create it. Like you're wasting it. Create it. Really, and that to me is, I think, what I had to like
out of the time you got.
Yeah. And it's like, no, I get it. I'm a talker. I talk all the time. But one of the things I've learned is like, no, if we're going to, there's the whole like structure before we need to talk. You better have read 18 pages of a PDF file. You better know where we're doing, because the only thing we're talking about is how. How are we getting it done? Because the ideas, and especially when you're a human being and what you're doing, like you yourself are the most important idea. Look, time and money. They always say time is money. Money is time. This is important. This is important. Who makes it up? Who is the common denominator? Right. Who is the thing that invented the time and invented the money? I did, the human being. So what makes me less valuable than time and money? It doesn't. So
other people's perspectives.
human beings are invaluing each other by invaluing themselves. The moment you invalue and devalue who you are and your existence and your structure,
it's a projection of their own selves.
it's all self. It's all self. And that's my goal. It's your fault. I don't care how you want to take it, how you feel, how you think, it's your fault. Why? Because you are in this decision today. You can make the change. You're deciding not to. You have 1,000 choices, but your decision to change your life is not something you're willing to follow through, be disciplined in, committed to, like, no matter the struggle. Because let me tell you something, the amount of no's I get on a daily basis, the amount of, we already have this one, we already have this, too much, Adela, too much, Adela. Do you know what that does to me? I go, hey team, they said no. They go, why? I go, it's a stupid reason. They go, okay, let's win. I said, all right, what's the next plan? Where are we moving next? That's done. There's no thinking about it. All you did was tell me that you didn't look at me as an opportunity. You wanted me to look at you as an opportunity. I don't need to look at you because you're an opportunity that's past. But I don't mean that in any shape or form to be negative, but the value of yourself and your ideas that you need to have and the confidence you need to have in
Adela,
it to be able to, like, you have to be able to say, okay, fine, I'm the opportunity.
Adela, you will always be too much for people
100%.
that don't do enough.
I know. There's not enough. That's why I'm like, you just don't like that you're feeling. You don't like that you're feeling. You don't like that I can penetrate through the shield with my sunshine. Right. I can walk in and just look at you and be like, and you'll be like, ooh, feelings. You know, like,
what happened?
Feelings.
Like,
I'm feeling but that's a power that every human possesses. Right? Every human has the power of that, to possess, to enter a room, to be able to make someone feel and change their mind without words, whether that's good or bad. So understand what your intentional energy is coming through and where you're going with it. And it has to be grounded in confident truth. It can't be grounded in confident character or fake or persona. And again, I'm not saying that I didn't have it. That's when I started everything. Ground in a character so that we could do what we're doing. But at the end of the day, we outgrow one. It takes one, but you have to outgrow the character to become a true self. And then once you outgrow the character and become a true self, you're like, it doesn't matter. There's none of it. It's done. Like, it's done. It's done. That's it. It's done. How it's done, I don't know, but it's done.
I hope everyone that's watching has a pad and pen with them and they're taking notes, because this is not just art and fashion talk. This is also self-searching, self-seeking, self-finding. And I know all of that means the same, but I'm pretty sure all of you guys have different meanings for some words. So let's go to question number 4. Question number 4 is, how has this project and experience changed or challenged your perspective in art and fashion?
So after Checkmate, I got sick. I started to get sick. Right. Nobody knows. I started to get sick. I was sick prior to that. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia and rheumatoid arthritis, which now AA+, none of that, all reverse. Again, all good stuff. Today, all A++, all great. But at the time, my symptoms were just getting worse and worse. I couldn't move, I couldn't talk, I couldn't walk. And then we decided to do the interview, started the documentary process of everything. And at the end of filming that, I collapsed to a point where I lost all feeling in my body, couldn't walk. And then I started getting nosebleeds to a point where I thought I was like going to have an aneurysm. Like, it was gnarly. So this is 2022, 2023. Like, this is all within 2021, 2022. Like, yeah. So I was like, oh shit, like, I really have to stop and take care of myself. Like, I really have to, if this is what I want to do, if this is what I want to be, and I don't want to let people down, like, I have to.
So was it just like exhaustion, your body telling you?
What it was that what it is complex PTSD and dissociative amnesia. What we don't talk about is what your brain can do when it's in a complete induced state of trauma and a constant trauma. What I didn't know was that even when we were working on Checkmate and my ability to stay up, right, like exhaustion or whatever, that was mania. I was in a manic episode, and I was in an extreme manic episode for at least 2-3 years, and I didn't know that. And so the brain was just literally on fighting to survive, and I just used art as my way of surviving. So anything I could create, anything I could do, anything my mind would grab onto, because it was life. It was like, so it was just because anything else outside of that wasn't. So after doing all of that, like I said, I got really sick. I couldn't carry my kid. I couldn't do anything. I could not do anything. And so we went in and we went through 6 months. I mean, when I talk about like blood work, I had 45 vials of blood taken out of me in the span of 3 weeks. And they were like, Adela,
Wow.
are you sure you have enough in you? Or like, I'm like, it's there, pull it out, find it somewhere. All
So
to find out what's going
find
on.
it somewhere.
I figure it out because I'm not going anywhere. Listen, they had me. I did a sleep study testing. They were like, we commit people like you, because I was in my own space. I said, I know you do, but you're not committing me. So it was a back and forth. But after a good 8 months of going back and forth with doctors and just really having to do that, after neurological studies and everything, we finally came to a diagnosis. There was complex PTSD, and it was in a way that it, like I said, it could have killed me, because it started really creating like my blood, the pressure in my brain from what it was happening. Like,
Oh my gosh.
I did, like, it's just so, and we don't study it enough, we don't understand it enough, which is what changed everything about how I'm doing things now. And we didn't think about that, and it just started creating, like, I would literally burst blood for 20-30 minutes, like just out of nowhere. I'd be sleeping or wake up and just, and so that was really scary. So then they thought it was MS, then they thought it was, aneurysms, they thought, like, all that stuff. We went through like 6 months of back and forth trying to figure it out. And we went, finally, at the end of it all the tests came back.
You have that very hidden, girl. Very, very hidden, because wow.
Well, I mean,
wouldn't even imagine.
I thought you was
just working in silence. When I saw you take that long break, I like not long break, because you were just not active in social media as much. But I'm pretty sure you was working on something. So in my mind, I was like, oh, she working on something. Oh, I haven't seen.
Yeah. I was working on myself. I was taking my advice.
Surprise us later, because that's who she is. But wow, listen, I'm honored that you still within us.
Well, it's so all good stuff. So when they came back, they said, Adela, you're as healthy as can be. Like, your bones are healthy. Like, so they took away rheumatoid arthritis. I don't have fibromyalgia. Like, none of those things that I was diagnosed with, I'm undiagnosed with. I'm clean health bill. The thing that is wrong with me or is different is that I suffer from complex PTSD and dissociative amnesia. So I don't know when a trigger will hit me. It's like a minefield in there. When a trigger will hit me, where it might spiral me. However, the good news is, because once I learned that, and I learned what that means that my adrenaline and my cortisol level were shooting through so much that it would pass the limits of what a normal human being can handle. And I was just constantly living in that, and that wasn't enough. So it was like a drug addict almost needing to feed on something. So that, and I didn't know how to control it, which then my body would literally repel. I mean, again, collapse, blood, nosebleeds. That's all from like what a chemical can do to your body and your brain. And once I learned that, I can say that I have been in remission of it all for a year now. No body aches, it's just a couple of lapses here and there on like my mind or memory or something, but nothing to a point where I don't know where I'm at. Like, I would drive somewhere and I would get lost. Last year alone, I would get lost, and I'd be like, and the fear of not being able to recognize where I'm at or what I'm doing or who I'm with. And that's, again, I can't believe I functioned through all the stuff and through all the prime with you guys and all of that, and the state that I was in. And so this is where I go. I apologize for some of the, still saying me, but some of the stank attitude that I might have had during that time. Wasn't aware of it. Not to you, I know you. Yeah, but to where, but again, at the end of the day, that's when we're talking about mental health, when we're talking about health in general, a human being. I didn't know that, again, I was using all that just to feed it, just so I could survive and fit in and just be like, yay. Because I am an overachiever and overaccomplisher and all of that, so we had to take that break, And then when I started watching the documentary and started editing and doing all that stuff, like, it just made me realize that the self and who we are, like, we have to change it. We have to shift. We have to pause, we have to pause, shift, and act. We have PSAs. That's our PSA now. It's pause, shift, and act. And pause and reflect on who you are, shift your perspective, and then act upon it. That's going to benefit you for the longer term. And that's something I had to do, because I want to live forever, not forever ever, but I want to live as long as I can. I want to impact as long as I can, and I want to change the world in as best way and possibly that I can. But that requires, again, that way. So that's how it's shifted, and it didn't have to be external, but it really was an external body thing that it hit you. So you have to be conscious of that. So that's why I preach that so much, how important you are, because you don't need to get to a point where you might die because you didn't see yourself,
Yeah, we got to take care of ourselves, and cheers for 200 more years.
Cheers to 200 more years, girl, to winning and stocking them all up. Yes.
Let's go to our question number 5. And after this question, I would like to play this the Project Human commercial. So, question number 5: how did you break into the world of fashion design?
So, fashion design has, since I was a child of war and coming in from literally nothing, making your own clothes was something that like you just did. It was just part of who you were and where you were from. And so when I came into here, came to America, and I started just falling in love with fabrics here and there, I didn't really fall in love with fashion itself or what it would do for a human until I started Project Human in 2017, and until I saw the Alexander McQueen documentary, McQueen. And when I saw what he was doing with his fashion, and when I saw how he used one of his shows to talk about my own war when people didn't even know I was alive or existed, like to just highlight a little bit, right? And then just showcase it about other things. It gave me such an inspiring, like what fabric can do to a human and how it can make them move and flow, right? Like it's what it connects to the human and the story the human can tell in the fabric, not what I design, but the human can tell in the fabric. And like, to me, each piece is an embodiment of like a human essence of him being in there and telling the story through that piece of fabric. Or myself, or someone else, but not really like this is stiff and do this. No, like what does it make you feel? Does it make you want to do this? Does it like what does it do to you as a being? And so fashion is that for me, because it's the canvas of a human body.
And that being said, I do want to show everyone this commercial because just like you said, I can show you better than I can tell you. Adela is super passionate, and you will see her and probably have a perspective of her. But I'm telling you, she is not joking. This is not an act. You will see her art now. Look at how beautiful she designed her own clothing. Like I can't stress enough how artistic this queen is.
And
Let's
just so you
go
guys know, the one we did for, yeah, go ahead. Gosh,
guys,
it's so
let me
crazy.
is my camera not gonna come back to me? Is it going to? Okay, it'll take a time. Anyways, guys, I can say it. I can say it. And here we are again. Yes.
Okay. Really quick, all the Checkmate clothes we did too. They were all done. All the Checkmate clothes were in there too. So when you will go back and rewatch Checkmate, all those were I designed too.
No, I'll be honest with you guys. Adela is the way she is because of a very, very valuable reason. She is very into making this a reality and genuinely from the bottom of her heart. And that's what I feel like a lot of people don't understand about your excitement and your passion. I could see through it right away. When you talked to me that first time I went to your house and we tried dress on and we talked, I was like, I can see myself working with this lady because she tells me the things I need to know, the things I need to hear. She's right through. Like whatever you need to tell me, even if it's good or bad, you will tell me. And that's really that kind of people I was looking to work with people that really challenge me to become a better version of myself and a better artist. And you did that for me. So thank you so much for that. Thank you for your
Thank you
beautiful
for those
art as
words.
well. Now,
Thank
that
you.
being said, let's go to our question number 6. What sets you apart from other fashion designers? What do you
I'll tell you
feel
that right now,
about?
100%. I know this, and this is gonna sound as whatever it is gonna sound, but it's I actually care about the human. I actually care about the human being. So like, let's just be what it is. To me, it's not about my design; it's about the human being. Like I right now in my room, we're in my room. This is my podcast studio, but it's also my design studio, right? So like, let's be where we're at, working and kicking ass. Pieces I'm making are literally inspired by the humans that walk by, and I'm like, when a fabric speaks to me, like this, it's like when I hear music. When I hear music, I see color, and then I can see the whole, like, if I see a piece of color, it just like it goes pop, and then like it does this whole like scene of something. That's how like I created. I can create we did with Checkmate, or we did with Rebirth, right? But when I feel a fabric or I walk by it, it like sings. It like sings a name, or sings a tone, or like I can hear a tone of something, and I'm like, ooh, I like that. Ooh, that's who reminds me of. Oh, it's whimsical. Like Ashley, when I did a set and design for her, the sweet ash set that I did for her was because I walked by and it said like it just whimsically ashed all around. I was like, oh my god, that's it. Like that's it. And then for her character, when we did that, it was like it was when I saw the piece, it was almost like cat-like, so it came like a meow kind of thing, but not so like meow, just so like sweet.
I
So
know
when we
she loved
shaped
that.
it,
I know she loved that.
right? So that's why when I shaped her in the way that it shaped almost like a feline inspired like roll of a flow. And so for me, when fabric comes into play of that, when we're designing, it's literally inspired by the human, by the canvas of that, because of how they're like, oh, if they get excited, I get excited, because I'm like, that's it. Like that's it. And it speaks so much, because when a human can touch something, and our senses can be invigorated, like, and a fabric can do that. And I know when I go to stores now, it's like I touch everything, and it's all like there's no invigoration, there's no like anything towards me and my soul and what I would like. Yeah, sure, it's cute. Yeah, sure, it fits. Yeah, maybe, or it doesn't, or whatever. But like if I buy it and I take it home, I'm like, eh. And I want people to, when they take something or buy something or ask me to design it, they go, I'm in love with, like, I call it, I wanted to make love with you. Like, I want you to be like, I'm in love with me. Like, I want,
Right?
like I want
It's
that
supposed to be
feeling.
like that. I feel that's the
Because
beauty of fashion. It just enhances
yeah,
and boosts your self-esteem.
it should be the essence of who you are. Like my clothing should literally just enhance the essence of what's already there. So if it is
That's beautiful.
bold, right? If like it should just enhance what's already there, not recreate it, not make it something what it's not. And again, as someone who's been in the fashion world as a fashion designer, as a model, as a photographer, like I've been to New York Fashion Week, I've done the things and roles of seeing stuff. And to tell you everything, it's so empty. And again, not saying that there's not fabulous like art, okay? Fabulous art. It's just empty. And to me, when we're in a space and place where we can create so much, why can't we create like this energy of love? That's all right, like, and when somebody goes in peace and touches, they're like, ooh, I love, ooh, I feel, ooh, I like that's what I want the reaction.
I'm telling you, sometimes, and I do have a little bit of discernment because I take very care of a lot of intense care of what I wear, just because I care about how people perceive me based on how I dress. And so I'm like, if it was by me, I'd be like Billie Eilish, like black top, big t-shirt, Billie Eilish.
You so would, yes.
But sometimes I do like to put on my how do you say that, my
Little black
skinny
dress and
dresses,
little outfits, yeah,
and stuff, but not too much. And I'd be like, okay, I gotta find the right scenario for me to wear this where it doesn't look vulgar. And then I was like, how can I? Well, I have a husband. I'll just take him with me when I got those
Yeah,
dresses.
no, and that's well. So
Look
that
at
I'm
my
gonna say
body
that.
type. I'm
So I'm
dressing
gonna
like
say
this. I
that.
want to feel beautiful and sexy. But that's pretty
So I'm
much
gonna
it.
say that. That's my thing. That's what I found about fashion is that and the more I talk to women, honestly, the more I just talk to women and more mature women, no offense to our younger girls, but more mature women, what we're looking for is like we want to feel sexy and classy at the same time. No offense, I don't need my booty out for me to like that's for my bedroom. That's where I need to be. But like so when I
Right.
go out and people look at me, like I'm in Florida wearing, you guys know this, I'm in Florida t-shirts and like sweaters and they're like Adela turtlenecks in the summer because
Come
I
on.
feel good. I feel good in that representation of myself. But if I were to ever walk out wear it, like I don't like wearing shorts in my neighborhood to walk, and like that is the most uncomfortable thing for me because it isn't who I am. But when I go out into stores or when I go and shop, it's literally what more can I give of my body versus like how can I make it classy and cover it up but still have a little sexy edge to it, like maybe the back is open, right?
Right.
Or maybe the skirt is just slightly above the knee but not so above the knee or so below the knee, like maybe the ankle is just showing. Why can't we have these, like maybe the wrist, right? What happened to having these little intricate pieces of a woman's body or a woman's piece of her be so enticing and be so part of that? And to me it's just I want that. I crave that. And as a woman, please, wherever you guys, wherever you want to be on that, there are two things. I'm saying this out loud, however you want to believe it, where are you going to go? But I know my stance. Human, man,
Turn on
woman, everything
business.
else is what we play. And no, but I don't mean that. I don't mean that in any, but like just where we're at. But whatever you decide and how you decide to create your life, that is your right. And that is what you're supposed to do. Like, it's just, that's it, right? But when it comes down to what we on an individual core level of where we're at, I, as a woman, want that and I require that and I want that feeling of that now. And so if there is not a space for me as a woman now in there, I'm going to ensure that as a woman, I create that space for myself. So let's ensure we do that. And we have plenty of that because I talk to them. And again, this is nothing against anybody. I'm going to get canceled before I even start. But however, I'm just saying, but it's
Stay
not.
true to yourself. This is what we do
It's the
here.
idea. But again, human beings, why can't we just respect and love the human for what they are, who they are, where they're at, the space and time and place they're at in, not for what we want it to be, what we expect them to be, what we require them to be, what we think they should be, no, it's cool. I love it. Oh my God, I might get the best fashion sense and get inspired. Great. Let me give it to me.
Right.
It's nothing than accepting the human for what they are. Period.
You know what's beautiful though? I had this experience with my daughter very recently. We went to if anybody here is religious. I am not completely religious. I do have a belief, and I believe in God and a higher power.
Yep, 100%.
But I went to church with my daughter, and this is a new church. I'm just, trying to soak myself in the word. And this is like the fourth time we go there. And I noticed something, but I never said anything about it. I noticed how this some ladies would come with very, very tight clothes or shorts, like booty out and stuff. And I was like, okay, this don't look like that environment. But then I gave them grace because I was like, well, I'm in a house where I'm supposed to make, not, how do you say, give them grace because we're all in our own journey. And my daughter at some point came to me and she was like, because I always dress her like a princess to go to church. I dress her in dresses and I put her really beautiful. And she comes to me and she's like, is it okay to wear casual clothes in church? And I was like, well, this is the thing, Mama. Everyone has their own journey. Everyone. They are probably walking through a path that they still haven't gotten where we are. That doesn't mean that we're above them or below them. Only God knows where we are in that scale. But I'll be
human
honest.
Beings.
But I told my daughter, now I'm gonna give you something to sip on, okay? Forget about that other people. What if I told you that because her family from the part of her dad, they believe in Jesus and stuff like that. I do too, but it's
in a different way.
in a different way. And I told my daughter, what if I told you that, Mama, get ready, Jesus is waiting for us at church. How would you want how would you want Jesus to see you when you come? And she said, in a white long dress. And I was like,
Yeah.
there you get it. Do you see the point now? It's not about how other people manage their life. It's about how we want to be perceived by what we believe on. So,
And you have to have and that's my thing is too, is like I've and this is where coming back into in the light and the health scare and everything. It's like I've survived the war. I've survived tanks, grenades, missiles. Like I've survived it. So to come to America and to not be able to have a confidence in my own belief in my own system, where literally it's in the Constitution for us all to have that. And like the thing that we've lost is just the humanity part of it all. We can be all this that we are. We've just lost the human. Like every human matters. Every human being, life and breath matters. I don't care outside of that. If I don't care, like sometimes I'm a unicorn. It's okay. Like that's what I am for the day. Like it's okay. But at the end of the day, I'm a human being. I am a human being. And the kindness that and grace we need to show other human beings needs to be coming because we show it to ourselves. And that's where we go, accepting our own flaws. Being really real with our own flaws and who we are makes you really, really be gracious with everybody else. Because at the end of the day, what you just said, if they were right here in first in place, they're going to be judging you, not them. It's about who you are and what you're doing. It has nothing to do with that. So if you're going to judge everyone else and say anything else, you better have looked at your closet and say, cleaned everything else in every spider web, because you better not be able to stand. You better stand on clean on that trial the moment you open your mouth. And so, and like, this is, again, speaking from experience, someone who judged the hell out of everybody first and foremost before she ever cleared her closets out to learn. And this was this was when we talk about where God's saying last year to me, God said, Adela, and I was in my backyard, and I keep repeating this phrase because it's really what put it in perspective. I'm working, and we've talked about me going home, and we've talked about me touching the soil and finishing and doing all this and just reconnecting with my land, right? When I was in the backyard, I was digging, I was doing, and it just, everything stopped. I started crying. I was mad. I was just with the world, right? And he said, clear as day, and he said, Adela, you are looking and seeking to go to a home in a land that you don't even know, that was told to you, that was claimed for you and where you're from and all that, just because you were there for a little bit, just because you experienced, you're seeking that. Yet, you have a land right here you're standing on. You're not willing to touch. You're not willing to cultivate and create on, but you are willing to, everything that's here, try to give it to something else that doesn't even know you exist. Like it shattered every perspective about like, I want to go home and do this. Because even through the documentary, You'll Heal Me, it's about home. It's about home. Home is where you are. Home is where the heart. Home is what you create. Home is what you. And so now in my garden, I have flowers that are blooming and roses. I have vegetables that can feed my family. I have cultivated something that like I was looking to cultivate in a whole other country, all because I was born. And again, this is nothing personal to me and whatever, all because the story said I was born there and that's where I'm from and my people and my stuff. It doesn't mean I negate that. It doesn't mean I don't. It doesn't mean I have not, it just means that where I'm at right now, what I'm doing here and what I'm cultivating here is just that much more important, because why would I not want to touch that? Like, again, when he said, Adela, you're in your backyard, everything I want, the flowers, the garden, and all that, I'm creating in my mind and somewhere else. And he's like, you're not willing to dig your boots in with your own hands, with your own, like, you're not willing to be dirty, but you're willing to be dirty for someone else, but not for you. You're willing to go and do, but not for you.
That's a reality check there.
Girl, was it not a girl? The reality check. I've been having a lot of reality checks, and it's necessary.
That's a reality check.
That's a reality check. Like that's a reality check.
Attack someone.
I'm like, man, okay, fine. I'll build my garden. I'll do that. And now I have a garden. I have a patio. I painted. I did this. I have this. I have that. I've been like, girl, and I'm like, okay,
but don't relapse. Okay, calm down.
Oh, hell no, girl. We on a no. We on a full. This is where I go, being defined in your narrative and the structure and your the knowledge, the confidence in my knowledge of my know of who I am overrides any bit of incompetence, any feeling of incompetence, any feeling of insecurity, any feeling of not understanding. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. but I know my know, and I know who I am, and I know what I stand for now, and I know where my, like, just know, and I'm confident in that. It has nothing to do. It's just, I stand for the human and human alone, and that's it. And if you have any other conversation, have anything else, figure that out before you come to me, because you need to have a human conversation. That's just what it is. If you want me to have something else about someone else, judge whatever, no, I'm judging you. I'm having a conversation with you. It is you and me, period. End discussion. It ain't third party. It's you and me, because that's how it would be, right? That's how it would be if it was between you and me and God. Like, if your relationship, so I know my relationship, right? I know where I'm coming from. I know I'm being judged every day. I know what I need to do. I know how I need to check myself. I'm being checked every day. But if you come to me and have that, I'm checking you, because that's my responsibility. That's it. Outside of that, it's not. I ain't got nothing to do with it. 40 inches is all I need to focus on and do and win. The rest of it, as they say, market will react. And the market will tell us whether they like us or not. The market will tell me whether I'm accepted or not. And all that, not social media, but the market, the actual market that understands what I'm doing, where I'm going. And having that confidence, right, and having that understanding, ooh, man, it solidifies who you are, and it makes you work harder, and it makes you, even if you don't have the support fully, but knowing that you have your team, like I know I have you guys, no matter what, even if we don't talk every day, knowing I have you guys. That's why no matter when somebody's like, Adela, you can't trust people, you can't do this. No, I can't trust people, but I can trust my human beings, period. There's a difference.
Another thing I wanted to add to that, we can't be too focused in what people feel or perceive on us, because damn if you do, damn if you don't. It doesn't matter what you do, someone always will have an issue with you, or
and
the
I'll
way.
Say that, and the way I had to be reminded of that, and again, especially because is that the same man who held a gun to my head is the same man who saved my life, is the same man who saw me as an inconsequential being to see me as a being. So anything else above that or below that is just like, it doesn't matter. Does that make sense? Like, what you think of me, how you think of me. Like, a man held my life in his hands, like held my life in his hands, and then decided that I was worth. Like, are you kidding me? That your opinion, like I'm gonna let your opinion hold my life in your hands? As somebody from outside, like, I'm gonna let your opinion, when I actually was held at gunpoint, like I was actually held at gunpoint, and I actually had someone hold my life in their hands. I'm gonna let social media hold my life in your hands? I'm not saying I didn't before. I did. That's why the Rebirth Project was done. But that's where you have to learn and really come, again, that's self to knowledge and who you are, that know where you're from, know who you are, know your roots, ground yourself in that for yourself, not for your mother, father, brother, sister, husband, wife, but for you as an independent human being, you as a thoughtful, critical thinking individual who has something to say.
Thank you very much for that, Adela. Thank you so much. Now, I did ask you, we're going to skip this question because I said what's next, and you already told us what's next in July.
We start that. Okay, July 16th, we're announcing really quick. July 16th, this is the full announcement. July 16th, The Artist Within podcast drops. So we will officially be dropping The Artist Within podcast. I haven't made it again. I've made a lot of drops announcements on here today, but we will July 16th. So mark your calendars. That's officially happening. I'm really excited. It'll be on Tuesdays. You guys will be able to listen to us. And so I'm excited, starting July 16th.
Write down, guys. Write down and tune in, okay? So question number 9 is, how can artists and or audiences apply to be part of this project?
Okay, so you can go onto our website. There's a couple of different steps. We have thinking.org, PHINC-ing.org. That's our website. And on there, you can start literally by becoming a freeform writer. It literally of no cost, of nothing to you, but your experience to kind of feel where you're at. And the reason why we recommend freeform writing is that we encourage you to start using your words and your narrative and start kind of figuring out where you're at and what your words mean to you.
Sorry, we have repeat the website again so I can write it down here and put it down.
PHINC-ing.org. And on there we have that. We also have a volunteer reflection course program. That's a 4-week program. And that requires you answering some questions and putting some things together. And we do it in group or individual sessions, however you want to do. And then we are also looking for volunteers. We're going to be launching our volunteer campaign. So if you're interested in helping us make this mission and this bigger, you can sign up online and email us on there as well. And then we have monthly communications there's just so much that we have that we can do, but volunteering is the best way you can support us right now. And of course, if you want to donate, we have a link up there on there too. If you want to make a donation to the nonprofit, We are actually we'll be launching our campaign next month, but we're looking to raise $5,000 right now to finish off the documentary that is Define the Narrative that we'll be putting into the submissions, into all the stuff that we did. So if you're interested in donating that, sponsoring that, want to be a business, want to be a part of that, let us know. We've got all the work done. It's all done. Now we're just on the final editing.
You know, we already in, right?
It's done. Yeah, I know you already. Girl, we already in. We already been in and signed. We already signed, done, checked, and delivered. Listen, I just need your new logo to put up on the stuff. We already done, signed, delivered. So if anybody else is interested in it, please do. We also have, out of all of this in the documentary and anything, we are doing a cross-country tour once we release that too. So I didn't announce that either, but we do have in the works to be able to do showcase things and pieces of the documentary. It's really important for us to share the stories and the voices of the community that's created something so epic. And to me, really showcases the humanity and the growth of what a human can do, whether that's just through my story or through someone else's story or through Project Human in general. The idea of that is so important, and I believe in it so wholeheartedly. So you can support by, again, becoming a freeform writer, volunteering, or donating. Any one of those ways will help us do that. Donating your services too, that works too. You know, we're always in any kind of donations, but money helps a lot more. So so there you go. I'm just saying, and we're like, listen, I have no shame in my game.
Hey, we keep it real here. We keep it real.
Let me keep it real. Let me be where I'm at.
Let's go to our last question of the day. The last question is an important quote that has served meaning to your purpose with Project Human. Which quote would that be?
Gosh, there's a couple of them. I think the newest one is that the confidence in my knowledge overrides the feeling of incompetence. And I think it's an extreme reminder for me, is a daily reminder that I'm not stupid in what I'm doing. I'm not crazy for thinking this crazy idea. It's not delusional. It's only delusional until it's reality. And right. You know, so though being able to redefine my narrative just through that one statement, just when I say that, like, I understand where my no is and what I'm going. And then I want to give two more off because I think they're really cool. The other one is it's nothing personal, but it's personal. So what I've had to learn to do is tell human beings it's nothing against you as a human, but it's personal to who I am and what I have to do and where I have to go. So I have to figure that out. So nothing personal, but it's personal. And that's helped me quite a bit to kind of get through some stuff, just because, you know, it makes it easy. And of course, I'm not nice, but I'm kind. So I will nicely tell you to fuck off real quick and tell you to fuck you with love, with all the love I have. And I'll kindly give you the shirt to make sure you are tucked in and fed and do what you need to do. Like, I will do it at the same time telling you, like, so just know I'm not nice, I'm kind, and I will kindly ensure that you are so beautifully loved. You just might need a little kick in the butt.
Thank you so much, Adele. That's like the realest thing you can say, for real, for real. I've said that so many times to people, and they, after I say it, they kind of grasp who I am right away. They'll be like, oh, okay, so I can F with this person in specific.
Well, because we just don't have time for the bullshit and the in-between. Like, I'm not here for sugarcoating. Like, just talk to me like a human being. You're wasting my time. And right. Again, as my team would tell me, Adela, you don't have to say anything anymore. You can just walk away. Because I used to say some stuff and now I just walk away. So you waste your own time if you start getting into stuff. So, like, I've just learned in all the ways. Right. No, for real. Listen. Okay, you guys, I have literally, this is how, again, I'm putting myself out there, you guys. I have literally been in situations where I'm like this in room settings and I'm listening and engaged into somebody's conversation, and then my mind will just shut down and my brain will go, this is unstimulating and unstimulating. I'm going to leave. And I will go,
wow. Oh my God. I thought I was the only one.
No. But I will
unstimulating.
No, I will say it. I've looked at the person and go, this conversation is really unstimulating and uninteresting to me anymore. I'm going to leave. I hope you can find someone else to talk to. And like, when you walk away, then you're like, oh my God, why would you say that, Adela? That's, oh my God, how could you like be so like, but so what I've learned is you don't have to say it. You can think it, but you can walk away, because that's where you have a good team of people around you. They go, Adela, you can think it. You don't have to say it. And you're like, I didn't need to say it, but now you got to learn. You got to learn being aware of yourself. But those are moments, and I used to be so afraid and ashamed of those things, but I'm not ashamed and afraid of any of that stuff anymore, because it was who I was. I'm working on being better. I am working really hard on being better. And if you correct me, I'll be better. Now, if you're wrong, you're wrong. But if you correct me, I'll be better. Like, that's what it's about. It isn't about an intentional being mean. That's why it's like, I'm not nice. You're not going to find me nice, but you will never find me intentionally being mean or intentionally hurting you or intentionally, like, if I want to, I'll tell you I'm petty and I'll do it, and you'll find out. Like, I don't have a problem with it. So, right. So it's that different. So yeah. Anyway, we could talk for 5 more hours.
Listen, I love speaking with you because it's like we have so much in common and so much uncommon at the same time, that it feels like I want to learn from you. I want to know what you're doing, what's going on, because the way you go through with your art, it's really mesmerizing. The way you don't give up, it's really mesmerizing, and it's very inspiring. So thank you for what
I love you. I just want you guys to know, Rose and I had a real talk one time where we were like, if we didn't really get to know each other, we would have killed each other because of our personalities. That's when she said the opposite of stuff, it reminded me of our conversation. We're like, you and I would not have liked each other if we didn't get to know each other.
If we didn't set this up for us to speak, we probably wouldn't get along.
It's because of our egos. It's because, and we know it. It's because of our own egos that pop in, and it's like, alphas.
I don't think it's ego. No, I don't think it's ego. I think it's the passion that we have. It clashes because I feel like it doesn't. In the moment, I felt like our passions weren't the same.
No,
but
I was my
you
ego.
were just a different specimen, and I'm just a different specimen.
No, mine was ego. Mine was ego. Our passions are the same.
Together and we spoke, and I was like, wait a minute, she's like me. Like,
yeah, no, it was my ego. I'm telling you right now, it was my ego. It was I know it was my ego for real, because like our passions are similar. It doesn't matter whether we agree or not. Like, that's the difference, and we know it. Our passion is the same, and our intention is the same.
I don't have ego.
I did.
So that's all I can give you.
It was me. It was my ego. It was that. It was her. But knowing that and being able to,
you've been the most passionate person I've ever met.
Oh, well, thank you. But I've learned.
And I mean that in the most beautiful way.
Just know, you guys, just because you may clash in the beginning, some things might not be. The only thing you have to do is have a conversation with a human, and you will understand and see where they're at and their passions and where your intentions are. And you may not agree on everything. You may not even be on the same sphere of stuff. However, your passion and for what you're going in the mission is, we're all in the same boat to like save each other and love each other. And I think that we should give ourselves more grace ourselves, but then give grace to conversations and to everybody else around it. And the more grace you give yourself, the more grace you can give others. So if you're screwing up, like I said, I have no shame in my game. I knew what I did. That doesn't make me right. But what it does make me is a better human being today, so I can learn from it and I can be better. And I can't learn from anybody better than myself, honestly. Like, yes, everybody can teach me. But if I'm not in tune with myself to learn from myself, like it doesn't make sense what anybody else tells me. I'm still going to do what I do because that's what's ingrained in me. And so.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Now, we have culminated our interview, but I still have 2 more segments. We have artistic advice right now. So this is your moment to tell the audience any general advice for artists in order to, just go through with the work, the same things that we were talking about here. Just let them know what is a advice that maybe helped you go through with your vision and stuff like that. Share it with the audience so that they can maybe
I'll share you this one with art. It's a mentor of mine taught me this, and he taught me when I came out with my magazine, and I put all my heart and work into it, and people were like, again, all the words when you put it out there. He grabbed the magazine and he whacked me with a head. So my advice to you is grab a piece of paper. Don't whack yourself too hard. Just a little notch, or just a little, not other people. I'm talking about yourself. But the reason why
I was like,
not other people. Not other people. I'm talking about yourself. You need a little kick in the butt. And I say this, you need a little this. The reason why was when he did that, he was like, Adela, you did this. You have to remember that you did it. While everybody else around you is talking about doing something, you're doing it. So my advice to you is do it. It doesn't matter. Just do it. And when somebody else around you tells you it's crap, it's this, it's that, where were they to do it with you? They didn't do it. So remind yourself. And sometimes, again, it might take but you did it. You did it, Adela. You did it. So remind yourself you did it. Do it, period. Like Nike logo, do it. I know it sounds crazy. Do it. Do it. Trust who you are in this life, that you know you are meant for creation, period.
And trust what you got to offer.
end of discussion. I know that like we're like take the time and study and learn and go and like those are all great things. Those are all, but I'm talking about you as a being. You need to trust what you know is inside and you feel and you understand and you're confident in to be able to express it. Nobody else can do that better than you. So all of our advice doesn't matter unless you do it. So do it.
Period. That being said, let's go to, we have here in United States, we have free speech, but here at Pressplay Cinema with Movie Talk, we have free art speech. So Adela, this is your panel. Whatever you feel that is important for the audience to know, if it's advice, if it's an announcement, if it's something you got coming up this weekend, whatever, go ahead. Oh, and how to find you.
Okay, well, free art speech, how to find us. You can go online. You can do the social media thing. We have a website, PHINC-ing.org, thinking.org, new way to think. And please go on there, find us, follow us, like all of our at Think, new way to think. You can find us on our social medias that way too. Adela Hitel, you type that in, you'll find me in all the places. My free art thinking on this is that here's where I'm at. We are in a country, in a place and space where we talk about privilege and we talk about the amount of privileges and the types of privileges we have. The thing that we don't talk about is the privilege to actually breathe, the privilege to actually speak, the privilege to do this without getting shot, without getting mugged, without getting taken out of our homes. And I speak this from somebody who's been done that. Like that has been part of my life. So when I come to America and I don't understand the hate that we have towards each other because of our existence or because of the way we look or because of the way this or because of that, what unifies us together is the privilege to be able to do those things and say those things. That's it. There's nowhere else that you get to say what you say and what you think and what you feel. And not to say that we don't have people who are not doing the bad stuff to do, right? Like, but no other place can you really truly do that. There is your ability to find your narrative and who you are in this country and in this space, to speak that is the privilege. To breathe, that is the privilege. That is what our vets have fought for you to breathe the way you want to breathe. So if you don't create that breath for you the way you see fit, you are at fault, period. End of discussion. Not the government, not the mama, not the daddy, not you. You're not taking your breath seriously. So that's why I stand so wholeheartedly on, because the conversations we're having we're not listening to the fact and the idea that we even have the privilege to have the conversation.
Right. Thank you so much, Adela. It's fantastic, first of all, to get to talk to you again. It's been so long. We're all being so busy. So I'm really happy to see you smile again. Your vibrant energy always energizes me. So, lady, God bless you.
Thank
God
you.
bless you. And that he keeps blessing all of your desires when it comes to this beautiful art that you're trying to cultivate in all human beings. Thank you so much. So that being said, guys, this is our interview with Movie Talk at Pressplay Cinema with Adela Hitel. And now we are about to, oh, I like the confetti. How did that came out?
Listen, on every video call, it does that for me. The universe just gives me, I don't know what to do. I'm telling you, fireworks.
That was so cool. That's amazing. Well, that being said, guys, Adela, you can go ahead and say goodbye, and I will go ahead and play Checkmate one more time for the audience.
Yay. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much, Rose. Bye, guys.
Okay, guys, so we are at the end of our interview. I am going to play Checkmate because I played it in the beginning and I know you guys weren't available. I mean, some of you weren't available and now you're tuning in. So because of that, I think you deserve to see this masterpiece made by Adela Hitel. Okay, so let's do that. Action.
if you leave me to my own device, I never have to compromise. The city is like a jungle, gotta make it mine. Put my fears right out of sight, beat the hustle, better get it right. In a game where the strong survive, only the strong survive. Your chains will not hold me down, the break and fall to the ground. Can't tame these lions inside. The power is raining like thunder, ready for a fight. These lions inside. These lions inside. These lions inside. These lions inside. I had to learn to be the hero. I started on a heaven zero in a city like a jungle. I had to get mine. Never give, you gotta take. Be the catapult to storm the gates. Cause the champion is never giving in. See you through till the end of days. Till the end of days. Your chains will not hold me down. The break and fall to the ground. Can't tame these lions inside. The power is raining like thunder, ready for a fight. These lions inside. These lions inside. Can't tame these lions inside. Can't tame these lions inside. The ground that they're walking ain't cutting through their skin. They're hunting down their prey to the bitter end. The ground that they're walking ain't cutting through their skin. They're hunting down their prey to the bitter end. The ground that they're walking ain't cutting through their skin. They're hunting down their prey. Let the games begin. Your chains will not hold me down. The break and fall to the ground. Can't tame these lions inside. The power is raining like thunder, ready for a fight. These lions inside. These lions inside. Can't tame these lions inside. Can't tame these lions inside. This ground that they're walking ain't cutting through their skin. They're hunting down their prey through the bitter end. The ground that they're walking ain't cutting through their skin. They're hunting down their prey. Let the games begin.
Hey guys, you'll see me, you know that all of this technology stuff going on, it's going to, okay, here we are. Yeah. Okay, guys, I wanted to give you guys my little assessment of that short film. When I saw that short film for the first time, this is how I assessed it. I felt that in life we always trying to compete with others, but in reality, just like you saw in the short, your real competition is yourself. So deal with that first and just dare to inspire. Guys, thank you for tuning in to Movie Talk at Pressplay Cinema today with Adela Hitel. Tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. EST, we will be having a beautiful interview with Miss Julia Allison and about her acting career and voiceover career. So let's talk about that tomorrow, guys. Again, don't forget, we have our film festival on October 17th this year, our first in person. All winners are going to be receiving a physical award. We will be releasing pictures of the awards soon. Trying to keep it a little, secret, because it's supposed to be a surprise. But I want to do a little commercial with it so that people can understand that this is serious. What we're doing is a movement, and I can't wait for you guys to hop in and just take control of your destiny when it comes to content creation and filmmaking. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.